Back in the summer of 22, up in Willow Creek, Montana, this little mountain town tucked away with about 7,000 folks scraping by on ranching and tourism, there was this beat-up 1952 Indian Chief motorcycle that had turned into a total curse for the Steel Eagles Club. Their leader, Mike "Sledge" Harlan, this big, tattooed guy who'd earned his stripes running cattle drives before the club became his family, rolled into Whitaker's garage one morning with the bike on a trailer, his voice booming like thunder as he challenged old Tom Whitaker. "If you're the hotshot mechanic everyone says you are, fix my damn Indian or admit you're just another hack like the other 40 who've tried." Sledge's eyes were fire. You could see the desperation mixed with that biker pride, because this wasn't just any bike. It was their club's heart, modded out with weird Korean War tech by some veteran who'd passed on without spilling the secrets, and now it sat dead, mocking them after humiliating mechanics from Bozeman to Cheyenne. Sledge's frustration wasn't just about the bike stalling out, it ran deeper, like a wound from his own days in the service, where he'd lost buddies to shoddy equipment. And now this relic felt like a betrayal of that legacy. Plus the club was losing face, whispers in the biker circuits calling them posers who couldn't keep their icon running. Tom, this salt-of-the-earth garage owner who'd inherited the place from his dad and prided himself on fixing anything with wheels, wiped his greasy hands and shot back with a wry grin. "Mike, I've wrenched on engines since I was knee-high, but this thing's got wiring and fuel tricks that scream military surplus. It's like trying to tune a fighter jet with a screwdriver." The air in the garage thickened, club members circling like wolves, their leather vests creaking, and Sledge leaned in close, his breath hot. "Then maybe you're not the man for it, Tom. We poured our dues into this beast to honor the old-timers, and if it stays broken, the Eagles might as well disband. Hell, maybe I'll just torch it and call it art." That jab hit Tom hard, stirring up his own insecurities about the garage struggling against big chain shops. But before fists flew, in walked Dr. Laura Hayes, this quiet 42-year-old who'd been a rising star at NASA until she blew the whistle on some shady cost-cutting that got her blackballed, now slumming at teaching intro engineering at Willow Creek Community College, her dreams grounded, feeling invisible in a world that chewed up smart women like her. Laura had been grabbing coffee next door when the rumble pulled her in, memories flooding back of her granddad's garage in Detroit, where she'd learned engines had souls, not just specs, and that mix of theory and grit had fueled her rocket designs before the fall. She hovered at the edge, her ponytail swinging, jeans practical, and muttered under her breath, "That secondary carb setup looks like it's rigged for high-altitude redundancy, straight out of warplane manuals." Sledge whipped around, smirking dismissively. "Lady, this ain't your knitting circle. What makes you think you can eyeball what pros can't?" But Laura, her voice steady yet laced with that inner fire from years of boardroom battles, knelt down and traced the wires. "Because I built systems like this for satellites, your bike's fighting itself, the backups kicking in too soon, like a paranoid co-pilot stealing the stick." The club chuckled at first, but then her kid, Emily, this sharp 17-year-old who'd seen her mom's career implode and inherited that analytical spark, piped up from the doorway. "Mom designed thrusters that kept astronauts alive. She knows wartime hacks better than most." Sledge's smirk faded, replaced by a grudging nod. But inside Laura, doubt swirled. Getting involved could expose her fragile new life. Yet that puzzle tugged at her, whispering of redemption, a chance to prove her smarts weren't wasted. As word spread through Willow Creek's gossip vine faster than wildfire in dry grass, Laura dove in, her mind racing through possibilities. Exotic alloys from jet engines, shielded electrics against EMPs, all mashed into a bike meant for open roads. But the real twist came when Ben Whitaker, Tom's cousin and son of the original modder, showed up with a dusty journal, pages yellowed, sketches precise. "Dad built this after Korea." Each tweak a nod to lost chromatest redundant ignitions for the guy who fixed planes under fire, fuel backups for altitude drops, like bombing runs. Sledge's tough facade cracked a bit, revealing his own vet scars. "We bought it to keep that spirit rolling, not rusting. Fix it right, or we're dishonoring them." Laura felt the weight, her NASA fallout echoing in this small-town drama, where corporate greed mirrored club politics, Sledge pushing to dominate local rides while Tom fought to keep his garage independent. They teamed up, Laura pitching it to the college dean, Dr. Elena Vargas, as a hands-on history lesson, framing the bike as a bridge between war tech and civilian grit. Vargas, a history buff herself, bit, seeing it as a win against budget cuts, but warned, mixed bikers and students? That's dynamite. Keep it educational, or heads roll. The pushback hit hard in the lab, where Laura's team eager students like young Riley, club guys like Jax Bolt, Riley with his quick wit and wrench skills calibrated with aerospace gear, discovering aged metals brittle from decades, vibrations clashing like old enemies. This alloy's crystallized, Laura sighed, Bolt quipping back. Like my ex-wife's hardtuff, but ready to shatter. Tensions flared when Sledge stormed in during a snag. You're turning our warhorse into a science fair project. Get it running or step off. Laura fired back, eyes blazing. It's not about speed, my kite's respecting the design, or you'll blow it up like my old bosses did with safety protocols. That clash unearthed deeper rift. Sledge's control issues from losing his ranch to developers, mirroring Laura's whistleblower scars, but they adapted, tweaking specs for 90% original punch. Bolt's field smarts blending with Laura's theory in late-night sessions that built unlikely bonds. Emily mediating with teen wisdom. Mom, they're rough, but they care like you do. The climax roared on Eagle Pass Road, that twisting beast of a highway climbing 4,000 feet through pines and sheer drops. Where lab perfection met real grit. The bike hummed at first, but mid-climb, harmonics screamed like banshees, vibrations triggering failsafes. Bolt yelling over the comms. She's shaking like a bad hangover. Pull over before she grenades. Sledge, trailing in his truck, growled. Told you eggheads it'd fail. But Laura, directing from base, her voice calm amid chaos, dampened the frame joints with that compound we prep. Its resonance from the mods clashing with age, like old grudges flaring. They fixed it roadside, tools flying, sweat mixing with triumph as the engine purred true, Bolt whooping. She flies now. Sledge, humbled, clasped Laura's hand later. You didn't just fix a bike, you fixed us. The club rode out strong, the Indian chief gleaming under Montana's sun, a symbol of buried hatchets and fresh starts. Yet, looking back, was it justice when Laura's fame drew aerospace scouts, offering her a way out? While Sledge's club boomed, but Facetown pushback on noise. Makes you wonder if bridging worlds always heals or just stirs new storms. What do you think? Was Sledge right to doubt at first, or should folks like Laura always get the shot? Drop your take in the comments, share your own community clash stories, and hit subscribe if these real-life twists hook you. Got more coming.